Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ModzvilleUSA, back with another video, and today we've got something very neat, very sweet, and very nostalgic. Totally unnecessary video. We're going to be playing around with swap magic for the PS2. Now this was my very first mod I did myself way back in the day, the mid 2000s, before I ever picked up a soldering iron. This was for all of us normies who weren't ballsy enough to install a mod chip in a PS2, and it did essentially the same things. It was just a little bit jankier because it's a boot disc essentially. So I got I've found this on eBay for like new sealed for like 70 bucks, and I couldn't resist, so I bought it. It's for Japan though. These for the United States, the US discs go for quite a bit more. The PAL discs are very cheap, but you know, who wants that? So I bought these, and I bought a launch 10,000 model version 0 PS2 to play around with. So we're gonna crack this seal. Enough dilly-dallying. This is what we get. We get 2 discs. One is for DVD based media, and the other is for CD based media. So what do we got? So we got DVD compact disc. So the silver bottom PS2 games, those are DVDs, and the blue bottom ones, those are compact discs. So it just depends on what we're trying to boot, which disc we use. And yeah, we need to use this in a Japanese console, or we need to mod chip a US one in order to use that, which would be pretty funny. It came with some more stuff too. What do we got here? So let's find out. Do not know what that is yet, but this guy is a janky little tool that these things came with, and the idea here is you insert this into your fat PS2 disc tray, and this guy grabs this guy will unlock the tray, so we can open it up without pushing the eject button to swap the disc. That is the idea with this. Very janky little setup. Can't be good for your system to constantly pry it open like that. So we're not going to use that. Let's see what this is. What even is this? Okay. I don't know what the story is with these, to be perfectly honest with you. We'll have to do a little bit of web sleuthing here to figure that out. Hit the archives, see what this was for, and let me know in the comments, spoiler, if you remember what this was for. I never used the I never used this. I always had a flip top. I'm assuming this is related to this in some way or another. And last but not least, we also got a little manual. And hey, maybe we won't need to Google around to figure out what those are for. Maybe you'll be kind and just tell us in here. Oh, no, this is a box for it. So instead of shipping in a box, it came disassembled like this. Okay, Swap Magic Coder Plus. Adding saving new codes for the latest game. Can launch programs from memory card. Ooh. Can launch programs from USB devices. Preloaded over 400 cheat code. Excellent compatibility. Supports all AR codes. Cheap and efficiently support CDR and DVR. No warranty void, huh? Oh wow. Everyone can play their PS2 CDR or DVD-R in a simple and easy way. Oh, very nice. So we've got adding, saving new codes for latest games, preload, anything else, game start with single swap method, no mod chip for games to detect. Works on all models. Very neat. Very neat stuff here. So let's see if it tells us what's up with those little plastic pieces. Okay, this is pretty neat. It's got some features that I don't remember ever utilizing. So obviously, if we want to play homebrew or backups via a disk, what we can do is we put in the disk, boots up, we open it up, we pop in the disk we want to boot, and we boot that disk. Very nice. But it also has its own little kind of U-Launch ELF type setup where we could put an ELF file, rename it Swap Magic, put it in a Swap Magic folder, and it will boot that homebrew. So say we want to use U-Launch ELF, we rename it swapmagic.elf, put it on our FAT32 flash drive, and it will boot to that. And we can also have multiple programs. It looks kind of similar to if you've used a Modbo 5 and you've got those USB files. We can do something similar where we can have a series of ELF files and name them smboot0, smboot1, smboot2, smboot3. I think a max of 4, and then we can choose which one we want to boot. But it looks like we can't really name them. They're just going to be, you're just going to have to remember what they were. Makes more sense to just boot into U-Launch ELF and then load whatever you want from there. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. A lot of stuff about cheat codes. But yeah, that software stuff's pretty cool there. So I'm gonna put this guy in here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we got here is the 10,000 model Japanese launch PS2, also known as the V0. Not many mod chips work in this thing. It's very old, very, very old system. The first. This is the one doesn't have an external HDD port. It's got this PC card port, and they have like a very neat looking external hard drive that hooks up to these and these only. Trying to remember to grab a picture. I don't have one yet, but they're kind of neat looking. I would like to mod one of those with SATA at some point. So yeah, I got this from ghostcase.com. This is the flip top. So all you do is you open up the console, and this is what I had way back in the day. Was one of these flip tops. Not sure if it was from Ghost Case or not, but had one of these flip tops, and these are only compatible with the 10 screw launch PS2s. As you can see, the 10,000 model has these 2 extra screws here, And I bought this hoping it would work, even though Ghost Case says it only officially supports V1s through V4s. Those are all US models. With the 10 screws, I figured, you know, roll the dice, see if it works on the 10,000, and it just barely doesn't. So this doesn't line up here, the screw post, so it's like offset by a little bit, so you can't screw that in. And I think the distance is a little bit off, so it will not. So if this is supposed to be in here, obviously, and when the console's going, you can hear the disc like kind of going a little bit crazy. If you put enough pressure on it, it'll do it, but obviously that's not ideal. So the TLDR is I'm in the market for a 10 screw US PS2. Hit me up if you got one with these 2 extra screws here. It's going to be a 3,000. It's going to be a 3,000, but that doesn't actually mean anything. There's like, I don't know, like 7 different revisions or something like that for the 3,000 PS2s. What matters is these 2 extra screw posts. I'm trying to hunt one of those down. Don't have any in my stack at the moment. Besides the point, but yeah, so typically, you know, you put your Swap Magic disc in, and then when you swap it, you open this guy up, you put in your backup, your region-free disc, whatever, you close it back up. Just for testing though, this is just going to stay open, and I've just got this manually on here, so that's how I'm going to be doing this. And then I'm going to swap back to the original shell after this video. Just giving you the rundown of my weird little setup. This is the nostalgia build I'm going for, with the flip top and the 1000. I'm gonna need a different model because it's just not cutting the mustard with this guy, unfortunately. But that's okay. So yeah, let's boot it up. Let's check out. We'll boot up some region-free games, maybe a backup, and then let's check out the custom launching software for booting homebrew ELF files and whatnot. Cool, so let's set this up, and before we do that, I want to have a quick word from today's sponsor. Huge thank you to today's sponsor, PCBWay. Now, if you design PCBs, or you've got the Gerber files, or you need some CNC work done, 3D printing, you want some nice resin prints, you can get it all done over here. Now, if you're like me and you're a total goober and don't know how to design your own PCBs, come on over here to the shared projects, and you'll find all sorts of projects that are really easy to get going and ordered. So we got our categories tab here, and I like the retro stuff. So we got this bulky MIDI 32 module, nice. We got a flash card for the Odysee. Look at that. Got a Tiny DOS gaming PC. Let me go back there. Let's check out this Sega synth. My God, it's basically like a mini Yamaha DX7, dude. That is neat. That is neat. Look at that. Well, say you want it. PCB plus assembly. Add it to cart. And boom. They'll make it. Simple as that. Again, thanks again, PCBWay, for sponsoring this video, and definitely go on over here and check out these shared projects, because it is a gold mine of rad projects. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, change of plans. As you can see, this is a different PS2. We've got a V12 US Slim, as you can tell, as it's by the modem here. Don't have those on Japanese consoles. So what I've gone ahead and done is bypassed the lid sensor here, the wire. I bypassed the other lid sensor. Let's see if I can get to it. Right here. So I snipped that little piece of plastic, jumped a wire. So that means both these switches are engaged currently without the lid on. And if there's a disc, the laser will move if you turn it on. If there's a disc in it, it'll just fire right up, start spinning, and then you can swap it out. I can put the top back on and it'll still work fine, doing its thing, but I'm just running it like this for now, as this is all kind of temporary. Now, you might be wondering why I'm doing this instead of using the PS2 we started with. I messed around with it a bit, and it would not, something about the 10K does not play well with swap magic. It would boot the disc, but it would keep spinning, and then you would need to physically remove it while it's spinning, put the new one on, and it starts tripping out. So yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be. So I've already gone ahead and tested this with the lid sensors engaged. It spins up, goes into swap magic, and once it loads swap magic, it stops spinning. You remove the disc, you put the backup or whatever you want to run on there, and then choose to boot it, and then it boots. So this is a Japanese disc, US console. So you might be wondering how I'm running this, and that is because I went ahead off camera and flashed Mekapoon to this, which enables region free as well as PS1 backup support, unless you choose the unlocked one, which that breaks a bunch of other cool features, so I'm not doing that. So yeah, thankfully Mekapoon works well on this revision. The other way around, not so well. Like if this was a Japanese console and we flash Mekapoon to it, I believe it adds like region free PS2 works, but PS1 does not. So this is a really good revision to use Mekapoon on if you want a whole lot of support there. I believe even Force Unlock works on this without breaking other features for the US ones. Let me know in the comments if you know. I usually only play with Japanese consoles. So this is working. I'm gonna hook it up and we'll show you what's up. And here we are, booted into Swap Magic, and we've got 4 options. We've got a normal boot, special boot, SM boot, which I believe is booting homebrew from the memory card, and cheat menu. So from what I've gathered from a few quick Google searches, the difference between normal and special is some games require this alternative boot method, but by and large you're going to be choosing normal, and if it doesn't boot for some reason, then you'd try special. So at this point the disc has stopped spinning. Like as soon as I got to this screen, the disc stops, and that's when we go in and we swap our backup or region free disc, whatever. So for pure nostalgia's sake, I went ahead and found an ISO of SNES Station, pre-made, pre-built, whatever, on Archive. It's in Spanish, or at least the Archive listing was in Spanish. We'll see. But went ahead and burned this to a CDR, and we're gonna put this in and boot it up. Okay, I've swapped the disk. Let's choose normal, and we can actually select the video mode here, which is pretty neat. We're just gonna go with default, and the disk is spinning. It's booting already. Would you look at that? That certainly is magical. I'll push triangle. I played the shit out of this back in the day. You get that very, very long. Hope you didn't pay for this screen. Alright. All these ROMs are on here. We go back. Okay, we're booting up Super Mario World. Why not? SNESforever.blogspot. Check it out. Nintendo A Presenta. Very good. Mario A Vazio, huh? We'll do one Jogador. Very good. Oh no. Coisa do Bowser. Dinosaurios. That's not good. That can't be good. And we're getting a little slow down already. Looking a little framey. And yeah, this isn't good. This is not an ideal way to play SNES. But you know what? I did it and I didn't know. I don't remember noticing it being super shitty back in the day. But yeah, this is not good. And there we go. Level 1. Well, you get the idea. Let's try booting an ELF file from USB. Okay, so I've popped in a flash or a FAT32 formatted thumb drive here, and let's see. I'm reading over the instructions. Create a folder named Swap Magic, all caps. And in here, I'm going to put in is the latest W launch ELF. We name this Swap Magic as well. And we're not going to play around with the multiple ELF file doodads because we can easily use W launch ELF to boot other ELFs. So that's not really needed. So according to the instructions, we just plug this in, we boot it up with the USB drive plugged in, and it should boot to that ELF file automatically. So let's try that. Hey, would you look at that? It works. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. So it seems to be that I use the CD one. I think it doesn't matter. You can use either the CD or the DVD. If you have a folder called Swap Magic, all caps, and an ELF file in there renamed to swapmagic.elf, all caps, then you will boot that homebrew file. So OPL, HD loader, if you really want to get old school, U-Launch ELF, W-Launch ELF, whatever, boot it on up. Very neat. Very neat shit. I don't think I ever utilized this back in the day. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is Swap Magic. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. Should you go out and purchase Swap Magic in 2023? Absolutely not. This is completely irrelevant. There's so many other options nowadays. If you have a 50,000 fat or any slim, you can install Mecapone and be booting region-free games, PS1 backups on most revisions, and you know, or get a mod chip. Mod chips are still fun. I still enjoy them. But yeah, there's so many other options. Free DVD boot. Another great one for booting DVD-based games on the PS2 natively. Very cool stuff. A whole lot of shit. Whole lot of cool shit that you can do. But yeah, this was how we used to do it back in the day, in the early days of the PS2. If you were not a you didn't have a mod chip guy, you didn't know where to get into it, any normie could figure out how to get a Swap Magic discs, get a flip top, and call it a day. All you gotta do is just swap the disc out. Now, I don't know what was going on with that V0 PS2 where it would not stop spinning. It's got to be because the BIOS is on the super low original version. It says it's supported. That was quite strange though, because it clearly was not supported. It was not working. It's supposed to stop. It did not. So who knows what's up with that? Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas why it behaved that way in the V0 PS2. But worked fine in the V12. So anyways, that's about it. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.